You are now rockin' with the rebellious host, known as the Dose, ODD True the Vision, the one and only Sean Hibbeler, of Hibbeler Productions. And Dave, from deep inside the rabbit hole. Welcome to the Triple Truth Oddcast.
What's going on, everybody? This is O.D.D, and right here I got my man Hibbeler Productions, Sean, and then we got Dave from deep inside the rabbit hole. And together we're the Triple Truth Oddcast.
Triple the power. Triple the information. Triple the possibilities. Triple the trouble. Triple the truth. Welcome to the Triple Truth Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is ODD. Welcome back to the Oddcast. We have had quite a long break. We've all had a lot of stuff to do, but we're going to get back into it. And today we got something a little different for you guys. So I hope you like it, and let's get going.
Joel contacted me, I think, on Instagram, and is a firm believer that flat Earth is silly, hasn't seen any proof of the globe, and we're here to have a discussion. So, Joel, take it away. What do you got? What do you want? What do you want to ask, or what do you want to show us?
Well, so, I've been going around attempting to speak with flat earthers for about a year now. And what I've noticed is there's no supporting argument for a flat earth. And what I have to wonder is, you guys are firm believers that the earth is flat, but you can't defend your position.
Who have you spoken to?
Yeah, that's strange that you think that.
People in flat earth communities.
Who? Do you have a name? I'm just curious, because to say that there's no supporting evidence for flat Earth is, I don't want to call it an understatement, because that's an insult to understatements.
It's terrible research.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have an argument, I'd like to hear it, because I've yet to hear one. I ask people and they got nothing to say, or they want to argue, or they just start throwing insults. And it's
let me ask you, Joel. What's your? Let's start with the globe, right? Because we were all taught that in kindergarten, so we're all in the same boat there. We all got taught the same heliocentric model. Now, you sitting here as an adult, you still believe this heliocentric model. What's the first thing that comes to mind that makes you grasp at your full belief in this ball? Like what is your standing proof here in this fight? Because we have debunked all of it. So I want to start with what you think why the globe is 100% real. I want to hear that from you first.
Well, the supporting argument that I started with there was geosynchronous orbit. That's what keeps our satellites in the air. That only works on a cloud.
Okay. So that's a wide, a big rabbit hole you just opened up. Satellites, what are they? How do they work up there? So you believe, and when I say you, we're not picking on you at all, because we were you, okay? Back 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, okay? You believe we live on a rock, surrounded by water, surrounded by air, adjacent to a void. Okay, now that's scientifically impossible, because you can't demonstrate it anywhere. You can't have high pressure next to low pressure without a physical barrier. And not only that, you believe that we're on this rock, we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, we're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour, which our human minds can't even fathom that speed. And we're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour, give or take. Okay? This is the hypersonic sled track. Try to see it. You can't even see it. Now it's going by a Mach 8.6. Okay? You have to believe that we are orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. We are chasing the sun 100 times faster than that in curved trajectories, not straight lines, turning and spinning and curving. But when we go out into nature, we can see scenes like this.
Well, you got to take into account for atmospheric pressure. We're contained within the atmosphere's pressure.
Well, wait, how do you have pressure without a container?
Because of gravity.
Okay, so gravity. So hold on, listen, Sean, you can laugh. Don't take laughing as disrespectful, because we've been down this road many times, and it is kind of funny. So gravity is holding the air down next to a a void, no pressure space. So gravity holds it down, but a summer breeze can blow the air left and right. I can take a straw, and when I'm close to Earth, which I am right now, well, actually, I'm not. Oh, I am right now. With the weak vacuum of my mouth and lungs, I could suck water and air up and away from Earth effortlessly. So in your world, if I had a shoebox, an open shoebox right here, and somebody sucked all the air out of the room below the shoebox, the air would stay in the shoebox because gravity is holding it down. Now, you and I both know that's not true. So you have a belief that gravity, which is a theory, which should have been thrown out, but instead they threw it in dark matter and dark energy, 90+% of it, made up nonsense. But how do you have high pressure next to low pressure without a physical container?
Well, first of all, it's not my world. I just live in it. But, you're saying high pressure next to low pressure. What is it? It's displacement. The air is displacing the water as it moves,
So you have let's say there was a room above you and it was a vacuum. They sucked all the air out of the room. It's a completely sealed off room. There's no air in it at all. And we had a valve hanging through your ceiling and you opened up that valve. Is the air going to go up and fill up that room? You and I both know that it will. Yeah, of course it will. Why isn't gravity holding it down?
Well, I mean, it because the force of the vacuum is overcoming the gravity. I mean, we overcome gravity. It's called escape velocity. That's how shuttles get out of the atmosphere. I mean, just because gravity exists doesn't mean we can't overcome it.
Does gravity exist?
Has it been proven, Joe? Has it been proven?
Well, it's a theory and a law, so I mean, yes.
No, I mean, has it been proven? Like, has it been has it gone through the scientific method? Has it been replicated 7 times here on Earth where we can see it through scientific method?
I believe so. If things weigh anything, then what is it? If it's not gravity, why does it weigh something?
Well, what is it before this theory was created? What was it before that? Do you know? Before this, apparently an apple fell on some Freemason's head. And you got your gravity starting. So before the apple fell that day, what do you think? They were just retards walking around? They don't know how things go down or up?
Density,
Joel, density and buoyancy sorts everything out, brother.
It doesn't.
So let's show you a couple things. So
always has.
So gravity, they tell us, is a weak force. You agree with that? And you know about the electrostatic force? So the electrostatic force, where positive is attracted to negative. The Earth has a negative or neutral charge. Anything above the Earth is in that positive field. This isn't a theory. This is scientifically testably provable. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways. Okay? And so when you're in that positive field, you're attracted to the Earth. Then buoyancy and density sort everything else out. If I had a handful of ping pong balls, marbles, and a helium balloon, and I held them over a pool, and I opened my hand, the balloon's going to go up because it's less dense than the air. The marbles and the ping pong balls are going to go down. The marbles are going to go to the bottom of the pool. Ping pong balls are going to stay at the top. That's buoyancy and density. But down is down because the Earth has this negative charge. So now how can we test this? Let me show you, and then you can respond. So here we have some helium balloons, and they're just neutrally holding this. There's just a button on here we taped on there, and there's a wire going to a Van der Graaf generator. And so now we're going to add a positive charge to this, a stronger positive charge. So we're adding a positive charge, and it just got heavier. It went down. And so then let's test it again. Let's discharge it, take the charge out, and it goes back up. Now, did we just change its mass? No. Did we change its weight? Well, how do you define weight? We changed its attraction to the Earth. Okay, so now what about the opposite of that? I'm sure you've seen these tinfoil triangles. You put a negative charge in them, and they go up. Are we defying gravity, or are we defying an electrostatic charge? Okay, and then this is something that just recently came out. This is called a silent drone. No moving parts, absolutely silent, and it's just using electrostatics to fly. No moving parts.
Never heard of that. But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If buoyancy and density explains everything, how would you explain the fact that in order to calculate buoyancy, you got to take in a factor of gravity? It's part of the formula.
Good. Well, let me tell you. Then you guys have to jump in because I just keep talking and talking. So they tell us gravity is a weak force. But they also tell us that the electrostatic force is 10 to the 20th power, which is a number that's incomprehensible, stronger than gravity. So let's pretend, and the electrostatic force has been proven. It's scientifically provable. Gravity is just a theory. Let's pretend gravity is real, and you really have to pretend. If you drop something and it goes down, how do you know that this infinitely weaker force is the reason it went down when I could change the electric potential of what it was and make it heavier or lighter? Okay? You're just believing gravity because without gravity, the entire heliocentric model falls apart. Then you'll have to realize satellites aren't real. Then you have to realize that everything that you believe is based on zero evidence.
And Joel,
Here's the problem.
satellites. Let's go to satellites because if you give him can he share a screen from his phone or no? Actually, he doesn't have to.
It doesn't. I can bring up whatever you need.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Joel, have you seen a satellite before? I mean, an image of a satellite up in upper space up there, whatever you believe
Yes,
in.
I've seen them, with my eyes in the sky.
Okay. No. Oh,
Great.
yeah.
You want to take it or I'll take it?
No, go ahead. Because I know you're gonna. I know what you're gonna show.
Yeah. So, well, I'm just gonna talk to him. So, a satellite's the size of what? Of the engine on an airplane, right?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay,
That's what they say.
We've seen
It's
them.
around this.
All right. So here's a 747. This is the engine. It's right on the ground. 50 yards away. It's hard to see it. This is a 747 at altitude. Can't really see it in this picture, but maybe if we're out there, you could see it. But I doubt you can see the engine. Okay. And I'm guessing that the engine is also way bigger than most satellites, or even all satellites. Okay. Well, the satellites that you're seeing are 200 times farther away than this. So scientifically, do you know about the angular resolution limits of your eyes? Your eye can only see something at a certain arc width, right? If it's smaller than 0.02 degrees, your eye can't resolve it. Okay.
That's giving off light. This photon travels like infinitely.
Well, who told you that? I mean, I know who told you that, but where's proof of that? Light spreads out. If I have a light right here and I'm shining it on my hand and it's making a circle that has a certain brightness, but if I move my hand over here, it's now weaker and weaker and weaker. We're told that light travels for billions of years and doesn't spread out. Well, it does. It's just like sound. It spreads out and fades away. We're told that we see stars at ridiculous distances. Okay. Would you agree? I'm sorry, guys.
You're good, man.
I want you guys to jump in. I want to jump in on our sun. So if our sun was a yoga ball, you know what a yoga ball is? It's about this big, right?
Yeah.
How big would the Earth be next to it? A marble, a BB?
Ping pong ball.
Yeah, okay. A ping pong ball I think is a little big, but we'll say ping pong ball. Okay, imagine you're a human on top of that ping pong ball.
I thought it was a pear. Never mind. Sorry.
Never mind. It's all right.
Right.
All right. So you're on that ping pong ball. You're microscopic because it's the whole Earth. We can't even see it. And if I held that yoga ball a fraction of a millimeter, which is equivalent to a mile high, let's say, and you looked up, you would see the entire yoga ball. The entire sky would be the sun if it was a mile over your head at noon, right? Agreed? So now we're going to move it. How far away is the sun?
I don't know what is it, 94 million miles or something.
Well, very good. 93 million, 93, 94. You get an A+ right there. So now the sun has reduced from the entire sky to the size of like a nickel held at arm's length. Agreed? Why did it get smaller? Perspective. Right.
Yeah.
Very good. If I doubled the distance, how much smaller would it get?
It's like a factor equal to what it was. The first
So
time.
it went from the entire sky, horizon to horizon, to the size of a nickel. So double the distance, you couldn't see it. Let's quadruple the distance. No, let's 8 times the distance. If the sun was 8 times as far, do you think you could see it?
Well, according to science, we can because of the light, but the object itself has a vanishing point.
Hold on. We see the disk of the sun. We don't just see the light anything you see is light, but we could actually see the sun. So it's going to get smaller and smaller. 8 times the distance is 1 light hour. What if it was a light day away? That's 24 times farther than 8. Could you see it? I mean, how far do you think light, What if I'm standing here looking at the sun, which is 8 times farther away, and then you're standing 100 feet over there? Well, that same light has to spread out. Go to you, go to me, go to Matt, go to Sean over in California. Okay. Is there infinite light for infinite space? You believe that light expands and stays equal? Light fades out over distance. That's not a theory. That's a fact. Okay.
Inverse square law of light, right?
So here's my point. I can't make the sun 8 times farther away to show you what it would look like at a light hour, but we can compare it to what NASA tells us. Polaris, 46, 48 times bigger than the sun. So if it was 48 times farther, it would be equal size. Just like the moon, the sun is 400 times bigger and 400 times farther. So if we made Polaris 48 times farther than 1 light hour, where we scientifically proven we can't see the sun, that would be 48 times 1 hour is 2 light days. At 2 light days away, Polaris is scientifically provable, not visible, ignoring the inverse square law of light, ignoring it. Just the angular size is magnitudes upon magnitudes upon magnitudes, too small to see. And they tell us, do you know how far Polaris is? Is it 2 light days away? It's 433 light years away. And you know what else they tell us about this most important star? They said, we might be off by 100 light years. It might be 100 light years closer.
That's called mainstream science right there.
That's science. That's what you believe.
Well, how can you explain that we can see it then?
Because they're all right there, Joel. All the lights in the sky are right above us.
Right.
Everything above us is right there where you see it. If you see if you're looking at an airplane in the sky and you see it with your eyes, I can't convince you that airplane's 100 million miles away or something, right? Because you can see it. You can see it. Well, we can see the sun, moon, and stars with our eyes. We have been taught as children that those are millions and trillions of light years and miles away, and you just blindly accept that as a 6-year-old and you move on. And now we're revisiting this.
There's no other explanation beyond what's beyond it. If there's a dome there.
We don't know.
Beyond what? We can't go there, Joel.
We're not allowed to go there. Yeah.
We can't go up there.
Joel.
So let's stop believing the people that have lied to us our whole lives and start trying to figure this out together.
You know what this is?
Nah.
This is the star Capella. You can see it with your naked eye. It kind of looks like that with your naked eye. But when you zoom in on it, it's kind of amazing. Is that 100 quadrillion miles away? Or is it right here?
Well, you got a point that I don't know.
No, that's right. Here's the thing. I don't know what it is. I know what it's not. I know that it's not 100 quadrillion miles away because I can zoom in on it and make it big. I can zoom in on it and it gets bigger. But something is trillions and trillions and trillions of miles away. Do you know how far our closest star is?
No.
Okay. Here's the thing. We're not idiots. We know the heliocentric model better than anyone else, that any heliocentric believer is, because if you knew it as well as we did, you would know that it's false. So last point, and then I'll let you guys talk, is the closest star is 4.5 light years away. It's so close. All the other ones are so far away. That's 25 trillion miles. 25 trillion miles. Now, without folding space-time, do you know how far that is? If you were going 100,000 miles an hour, 100,000 miles an hour, again, unfathomable. I showed you what Mach 7.8 is, 100,000 miles per hour. I can't even figure out what Mach that is. It would take you 28,000 years to get to the closest star.
Are you talking about Alpha Centauri, the star system?
I think so. Whatever it is, the closest star is 4.5 trillion miles.
The closest star is the sun. Yeah.
Well, ignoring that, I was just going to one star. Okay, 28,000 years it would take you to get there at 100,000 miles an hour.
Right.
You can't fathom that.
Did you know that the Parker Solar Probe has broken 400,000 miles per hour?
Go ahead, boys.
Wait, what did he say? What did you say, Joel?
The Parker Solar Probe has broken 400,000 miles per hour. So, 100,000.
Have you seen it?
How can we verify this?
NASA's website.
NASA's website. So
wait, hold on, Joe. Maybe I didn't ask this earlier. You still trust NASA?
There's no reason not to trust NASA.
No reason not to trust.
All right. Let's give him some reasons and see if he accepts them. If we caught NASA faking 0G on the space station, or do you trust Elon Musk and SpaceX? Is that real?
I believe that he's interacting with space. I mean,
So
the reason you have not to believe it.
well, that seems to be your theme. Let's just look at Elon.
Apparently, you've never researched anything flat earthers have ever said, and what we've exposed on NASA for 7 years straight. You've never seen any of it.
All right, we're going to show you. We're going to show you right now.
Welcome to a
Hey,
crash
remember
course.
the rules, boys.
I know.
Remember
No, I'm
the
saying
rules.
welcome
Remember
to
the
a
rules.
crash course. That's all.
Yeah. So
That's all.
So Elon Musk sold PayPal for $350 million. Okay. And then somehow he bought a car company and he did what NASA couldn't do in decades. Okay. And he did it with 1 week of their budget.
Well, I heard
1
that it's
week.
not that he could. I heard it's not that they couldn't do it. It's that they didn't see a reason to.
All right. But he did it with 1 week's budget. No. 1 week's budget of NASA. He did what they couldn't do in 4 decades. Okay. Or 5 decades. Right. And so let's look at Elon. Let's see if Elon's for real. Okay. This is a test of his rocket that's going to go to Mars. Okay. Now watch this launch. This is ridiculous. Okay. So, and this is unedited from them. Edit. We had 3 edits already. And now this little flame is picking it up. Now let's look. We got a far shot. Now look at the angle of the camera. Okay. Now this can't be that high because we're kind of underneath it and we can see the side of it. Now, all of a sudden it looks pretty high. Now we're underneath it again. Where's the flame? Look at the smoke coming out of here. Whoa, we're really high again. Hold on. Real time. Now it's free falling. 40,000 pounds free falling. Now look at the smoke. How fast is it moving? Watch the next edit. They can't even get the smoke rate, right? Look at the smoke. Is this falling? Is this free falling? This is free falling. 40,000 pounds. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Wow, it's all of a sudden it's really high again.
What the hell just happened? Why is it
hold
up?
Hold on. Now watch this. All right. Now the engines are going to come on. Oh, really high again. Hold on. And by the way, that lower shot, we can see the side of it. So it's filmed from the ground. Now 3 engines are going to come on. 2 of them are going to turn off. The cameraman's going to do an edit, get right underneath it. Ready? Up, edit. Underneath. Now watch.
It's like a Hollywood movie. Look at it.
No, it doesn't. Hollywood would be fired for this. 2 of the engines are going to burn out. And then it's going to land with a bunch of CGI smoke. Watch the CGI smoke. Ready? Here we go. Cue the smoke. Smoke. Okay. And now it's going to land upright. Now, am I joking you? Is this really Elon Musk or is this just a YouTuber that made a video?
That's a weird video.
Yeah, that's Elon Musk.
That's official.
That's an official video from SpaceX.
Fake
Okay?
X.
Fake X.
SpaceX.
Joel, do you believe that there's still a guy up there in a Tesla floating around, orbiting? No, I'm for real. I know it's funny.
Ubering. He's doing Ubers.
Is he doing Ubers up there?
Yeah.
Is he picking up aliens in Ubers? The guy that didn't they say? Yeah, that was Elon Musk. They said they sent the Roadster up there, and he's just here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever seen this? Have you ever seen this, Joel?
Wait, hold on. Say again, Joel.
I thought you wanted to have a conversation about this.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
No. We are. You got it, guys. Hold on a second.
Supposedly they sent a car into space.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not.
All right. Well,
That's real to you?
So
I'm just making sure before we
this
go.
is not as high as the space shuttle, according to Elon Musk. Not as high as the space shuttle, and we just saw the whole globe. How is that possible?
What do you mean?
Because on the space shuttle, the space station.
You see only a little.
You see a flat horizon. You barely see any curve at all. But this thing is showing you the whole curve of the Earth, and it's not even as high as the space station.
How can it be in space if it's not as high as the space station? The space station isn't even in space; it's in low orbit.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is according to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they put stuff out there so dumb that a slightly intelligent person isn't even going to catch it because it's like, wait, they wouldn't do anything that dumb. Okay. This is the Earth, not as high as the space station.
Well, then that's not true.
Okay. Thank you. So now we caught Elon Musk twice lying. Okay.
No, I think there's a misconception here, though.
In what sense? From what they said? Because we're just repeating what they said.
Who said it's not as high as the space station?
Elon Musk, SpaceX. If you watch the video, if you can find it, it'll tell you the altitude, and it wasn't nearly as high as the space station. I think they even said it in the broadcast. Okay,
You know what the altitude is because you need to be at 30,000 feet or whatever to see the globe. Apparently,
30,000 feet is the height an airplane flies.
Yeah, that's a commercial airline.
Well, supposedly you can see the curvature at that point.
Who says?
They don't
Who says
say
that? They don't say that at all. Neil deGrasse Tyson himself says that you can't see it from 127,000.
No. The latest one, guys, it was 73 miles. You can't see the curve from 73 miles up, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson. And you know why he did that? Because every single time they send some BS up there with a fisheye lens, the flat earthers make it popular that's just a fisheye lens. And so what do they have to do? It's called damage control, Joe. They've been moving the goalposts for a very long time. It used to be, yeah, we could see the curve out of a plane. But once we demolished that, 2014, it was over. They changed it. Then they did the Red Bull jump. The Red Bull jump, everyone thought it was a ball. And then we demolished that as a fisheye lens. Now Neil deGrasse Tyson took it from 23-mile Red Bull jump, where you're supposed to see the curve apparently, and moved it back to 73 miles. You can't see a curve. There is no curve. You've never seen it.
Fisheye lens. That's not the answer, because the fisheye lens bends things up. It wouldn't give you
up or down.
Up or down. What do you mean? It's concave or convex?
It only bends it up. Look at any picture from a fisheye lens.
No, it's only in the top half of the lens, it'll arc it like this. And if it was in the bottom half, it would be a bowl. It would be curved this way.
Right.
And there's many times on the NASA with their feed, the ISS feed, where the camera moves up and down, and you watch the lens go like this. You watch the Earth curve from convex to concave.
You have a video of that?
Oh, yeah, tons. I could pull up. You want to pull it up, Dave?
Good. You can pull one up.
You guys talk. I'll pull one up. There's tons.
Yeah, there's tons. Depending on what side of the frame it's on, it's going to bend up or down. That's the whole point of the fisheye lens. Now, we've been pretty much debunking every single video that has a fisheye lens in it because of that. You can tell. And then, like they said, they keep moving the goalpost. Neil deGrasse Tyson came out with a video and said, there's no way you could see the curve from 120,000 feet. Are you kidding? That stuff is flat.
Yeah. And here's one without a fisheye lens. This is the Go Fast rocket. Went up 73 miles. Now, we think it hit something. We could argue about that all day. Yeah, we're not gonna with that and the damage control they did on that with the yo-yo D-spin thing. I think that's all damage control. But watch what happens. All of a sudden it stops, okay? And it's 73 miles high. That's a lot higher. How many feet is 73 miles? It's ridiculous, okay? And when it turns on its side, we can see the moon, okay? Here comes the moon. Ready? Boom, it turns on its side, and here comes the moon. Cue the moon right there. That's the moon. Now look at that horizon. It's looking pretty flat, but you could imagine some curve if you want. But here's the problem. When that took off in Arizona, the moon was over Australia.
Look at you.
So if the Earth was a basketball, Arizona's on top of the basketball, that rocket is a fraction of a millimeter above the basketball, and the moon is below the basketball.
Correct.
How did we see it?
Shouldn't have been able to see it.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Don't porn bomb us.
No. Watch this for about 1 minute, Joe.
And I saw Felix Baumgartner jump out of the space capsule. Flat Earthers did a great job of debunking that. Of course, it's a fisheye lens. It's not even a question. What most people don't know is that Neil deGrasse Tyson, the science priest of modern day, that everybody loves and they listen to him. Oh, he's so smart. Well, he is a smart man in the sense of he knows that we debunked the shit out of that.
And that dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, Felix Baumgartner, edge of space jump. Now, I don't. It's he wants to. I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space, look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
Now that's that, and here is this.
The first billionaire to travel to space, Sir Richard Branson.
So you go 63 miles up, you would all probably assume that, of course, you could see this giant curve of Earth. You're 63 miles up. Holy shit. Richard Branson supposedly goes up 63 miles, even though it's nothing but fisheye lens footage. We expose that. Here comes Neil deGrasse Tyson again. Damage control time.
Oh, by the way, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you. Do you know how high up above the Earth he was?
No.
So if you take a
63 miles.
Oh, yeah, say right. So take a schoolroom globe and ask how high above it is he? So he's about 2 millimeters above the surface of a schoolroom globe. So nobody has seen the curvature of the Earth from that height.
Do you see the curvature of the Earth right now, Joel? Because they're 63 miles up, brother.
I see what you're talking about, where it changed. That was kind of weird.
See, my point was they've been changing the goalposts for a long time. When we were little, it used to be out of the airplane. That was universal. That's what everyone just believed. That got debunked. That got destroyed in 2014, 2015. That was over. So they moved the goalpost to about 20 miles up, and then Red Bull Jump was 23 miles up. We exposed that. Once we expose that, again, they have to keep doing damage control because it's getting exposed. It's very easy to expose this stuff. So now they push the goalpost to 63 miles. And don't worry, we will wait until there's something that goes up 70 miles or plus, which I don't think that many things that can go that high or have gone that high. But as soon as mainstream wants to release something 70 plus miles up, there's going to be no curve either. So eventually they're going to have to give this up. Because they keep changing the goalposts, they keep moving it. As I just showed you.
And hold on, one thing, just one thing, and I'm going to let you go. Felix, when he climbed in, the camera inside the capsule was not fisheye, and we could see the horizon right here. Now that camera doesn't move. 127,000 feet, the horizon didn't drop. It actually, I mean, it looks higher. That just could be atmosphere or whatever, but it's the same. It's the same. It should drop drastically.
All the way down. You have to look down for the horizon. You have to start
the
looking
higher
down.
you go on a ball, the lower that horizon should be, but it doesn't. Go on an airplane, look out the left window, look out the right window, draw a line. It goes right like this. Horizon.
No matter how high you go, it's exactly what would happen too. No, it doesn't matter how high you go.
All right.
Because you're on a flat, you're on a plane.
Joel's turn.
Yeah, you're on a plane.
Well, let me ask you some more obscure questions here, because I mean, we can talk about camera angles and all that. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. But let me ask you this.
Default to authority fallacy. Go ahead.
If the Earth is flat, how thick do you think it is?
You're assuming that we think are you thinking that it's like some sort of disc, that flat earthers believe it's a disc floating somewhere? Because that's
the only way it would make sense to be flat is if it's an upside down bowl. I mean, I could see that, I guess.
No, we just think the surface is flat and it has peaks, valleys, mountains, but it's level overall. We don't think there's an underneath that's also matching it going flat like a disc. We don't say that. We don't know that. They've only dug 8 miles? That's the deepest hole that's ever been dug. We don't know.
Not even 8 miles.
Yes, like 7.5 miles down, like Matt said. But yet in school they teach us the magma core. Yeah, there you go. Like, come on, man.
We've seen lava and magma coming out of the ground. So what?
We'll talk about that. That's another thing to talk about. But the deepest hole is a great borehole. And when they were digging, they were using ground penetrating radar. And they said, all right, there's no more water. They hit water. Okay, there's no more rocks. They hit rocks. So the radar couldn't even tell them what they were doing. Right? So that is like equivalent to drilling through the skin of an apple. Okay? And they didn't even get halfway through the skin of the apple, right? In comparison, they were wrong every step of the way, but somehow they know what the core is.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow they know what the core is. And then they tell us the core is a molten magnetic ball spinning in the opposite direction. Well, molten magnetics, that doesn't exist. Heat a magnet up before it melts, it hits the Curie point and magnetism is gone. So the fact that they tell us it's a molten magnet is just another pseudoscience claim with tons of evidence that it doesn't exist. Zero evidence that it doesn't
exist. That's something I wonder about also. It's like we can't get anywhere near the core of the Earth, but they claim they know what it is.
Very good. You're on your way. This is a meme. It's in every textbook. This is what they want you to believe. Belief is the enemy of knowing. You believe a lot of things, but you have zero evidence for them. And because your belief is so strong, as you said several times here, you don't see any evidence for what we're talking about. Well, we're showing you evidence, piece after piece after piece. Eventually, there's going to be a preponderance of evidence, and then you're going to have to make a decision.
Well, we have a North and a South Pole. Why don't we have an East and a West Pole?
We have a South
Very
Pole.
good. Yeah. Have you ever seen it?
I mean, only on satellite photos.
Well, there's no satellite photos of Antarctica. They're all cartoons. Look it up. Okay. And
I
so
did
that's
look it up the other night, actually, and I saw it's all grayed out.
Yeah. So there's only cartoons. Okay. And when we have to get into satellites, what satellites really are. But let's explain the Earth model really quick to you. And then I want to show you about how circumnavigation works. And then maybe you'll get a better idea. So when it rains and it stops raining, you go outside and you find a puddle. What's holding that puddle together? What's stopping that puddle from running off somewhere? The water in the puddle. What's stopping it?
I mean, I imagine gravity in combination with atmospheric pressure.
Well, so forget it floating away. What's stopping it from going? Whatever's forcing it down, there's a downward force. We went over that. But the reason it's not flowing away is because the land all the way around is higher than the water, right? Simple.
Right.
A pond, why doesn't it flow away? The land is higher. A lake, bigger pond. Why doesn't it flow away? Okay. So they tell us that Antarctica is this continent at the bottom of a ball, 13,000 miles around. Okay. And there's plenty of evidence that that's not true. What if our world was set up like this? This is our pond. All of these islands are surrounded by water. We call them continents and islands. But all of the water has a container, the land that's higher than it. They tell us Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It's the container. It's the shoreline of our world, of our known world. This pink line, 60 degrees south, no one's allowed to go beyond it.
Can't explore anything over there.
No independent exploration beyond 60 degrees south, because if you were allowed to, you may discover that we don't live on a ball. So they have us in a prison for your mind. It's a globe, right?
It's not a matter of allowance, though. People have explored it.
No.
Yeah, Admiral Byrd was one of the last ones I think that ever did that. And when he got back, when he got back, Joel, he said there was a continent the size of North America over there that's never been seen by anybody. And as soon as he came back and said that, they started the Antarctica Treaty, and then they started NASA. It's not a coincidence that all these things happen in the order they did. More land was discovered.
The counts of the people that have circumvented Antarctica.
Circumnavigated.
Circumnavigated.
Circumvented. They went around Antarctica. It's been charted. It's been explored.
Yeah, Captain Cook. You want to pull up Captain Cook? We could show you a great charting. This was one of the most official publicized chartings, and this is exactly what he did. Go ahead. I know Dave wants to take this one.
No, that's it. It's just Captain Cook circumnavigated, I think, 3 times. It took him over 3.5 years each time, and he went over 60,000 miles. Okay, 60,000 miles. Now, the Antarctic, you know about the Antarctic sailboat race that just happened, right? So this is Antarctic sailboat race. Well, not even the whole race from this lower southern point, right? Remember? So we're on a ball, right? So this right here is the tip of south, down on the bottom of the ball. The widest part of the ball is the equator, okay? So we're down here, and we're going around Antarctica, and we're going over to here. On their official website, they say that's 32,000 miles. You know how big the equator is?
No.
24,000 miles. How is the bottom of a ball, not even going all the way around, bigger than the circumference of the widest part of the ball?
It's because they're not doing that.
They're not doing that, right?
They're doing what Captain Cook did, in a sense, meaning down here. But yeah, they're.
So let me.
The equator was like 3 times the size of the distance they traveled around.
No, that's what they want to tell you, but they're telling us now. They're admitting that it's 32,000 miles. This leg of the race is 32,000 miles. Okay? So that's ridiculous. Let me explain. I don't think you understand how the flat Earth works. Here's the flat Earth. We got our magnetic center. I got a compass. The needle points towards the center. Now I'm trying to push that compass west. West is not a straight line. West is a circle. Because I'm trying to go west, which is right here on the compass. I have to keep turning it to maintain a heading of west. So my needle's pointing at the North Pole. I have to walk in a circle equidistant around. Now I'm going east. East is also a circle. This does not prove the Earth is flat because it's the same on a globe. Okay. Now, if I want to go south, every direction. Oh no. So here. Now I'm going to go dead reckon west. I'm not going to turn. I'm not going to correct. I'm heading south already. South is every direction away from the center. Okay. All of these lines coming out from the center are south. Now, on a ball, here's the problem with the flat Earth. You can't go south and pop up on the other side of the Earth, because if I go south, which is away, I'm not going to magically show up over here like I should on a globe.
Agreed.
Guess what?
Right? Yeah.
Nobody has ever done that. Nobody's ever gone from Santiago and popped up in Australia. No one's ever done it.
Thousands of people have circumnavigated east to west, Joel, but no one's done it north to south. The reason no one's done it north to south, Joel, is because you can't.
Right.
Well,
and
how
so
do you explain the people that have gone around the world? They sail around the world.
We just
showed you that they're going way farther than we told you. And we have videos that will explain it longer than we can on here. But here's the thing. The world record for the first time anyone has circumnavigated south, right? And it's called Spider Tracks. And we're like, oh, this is going to be exciting. And so they went from, here's the North Pole and here's the South Pole. And they went, all the way down to California, out here to Hawaii, I believe, over here to these islands, over here, Santiago. Then they went to the South Pole, supposedly. And then they said, oh, the weather's too bad. We're going to just turn around and we're going to come back. They went up to Brazil. They went up here. We're like, oh, well, they didn't get that. Guinness Book gave them the world record for southern circumnavigation. And we're like, why didn't you continue around and pop up over in Australia? They're like, well, the weather was too bad. So this is all they did on our pond. They went here, 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 here. I mean, I could go to the end of my street, touch a telephone pole, go to the end of the street, touch a telephone pole, and then go back and tell you my street's a sphere, but you'd say I'm crazy.
What's the significance of saying, well, they went this way, but they didn't go that way? If they went all the way around in one direction, they went around something.
They didn't. Look, you're not looking. Look, I know it's on a phone, but look here. They went to the edge of the pond, and then they turned around and came back.
That's not circumnavigating. They didn't pop out the other side of this ball that you believe, Joel. That's the point we're trying to make. No one's ever done that. It's never been done where they go from north to south and pop out the other side. They're going around. Everyone's gone around this way. You could walk around your block, Joel, and get to where you started from again. Whatever you walked around, that block, all those houses, it's not a ball. It doesn't have to be a ball to circumnavigate.
Joel, if I went from Santiago here and I went out here, and then I turned around and I went to Brazil, went around to the North Pole and came back, would you say I circumnavigated a globe? I just did this.
Right.
That's all he did.
That's all the guy did. I'm
gonna look it up here.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
You know what? I'd rather you take some notes and look up this stuff later, because we spent 6 years or more looking this stuff up for you. So we're showing you some stuff. We're pointing towards some doors. Don't believe anything we say. We're showing you that you have a lot of unsupported beliefs. Okay, so let's switch gears and talk about proof that the Earth isn't a globe. So I'll start with one, and then you guys can come up with one. On a ball, there's physical curvature, right? So if this is my boat, and I travel away, it disappears from the bottom up. And if I zoom in, you can't bring it back. Okay, so here is this is Mount Canigou. Right, this is a spot in Illusion, France. We're looking out here. Mount Canigou is out here, but you can't see it because it's 175 miles away. And according to the Globe Earth Curve Calculator, from this altitude, are you Googling or are you watching what I'm showing you?
I'm looking.
From this altitude, the top of Mount Canigou would be over half a mile below the curve. Well, you can't see it. Well, the sun migrates left and right from the tropic to tropic, and twice a year it gets right in between the viewing spot and Mount Canigou. Now, the sun is the brightest object in the sky. A mountain is only reflected sunlight, and at 175 miles, that light can't push through the atmosphere and make it to our eyes, but the sun can. And when it lines up with Mount Canigou, it backlights it, and all of a sudden, you can see Mount Canigou. The very top right there should be over a half a mile below the curve, but it's not. And the only globe excuse besides refraction and gravity, well, that is their only excuse, that the sun and the mountain are well below the horizon. They're magically popping up and stopping at eye level.
I don't see how this proves your point, though.
It's 175 miles away, Joel, and the top of that mountain you're looking at should be about a mile below the horizon. None of that should be seen. The reason you can't see it on a normal day, Joel, is because the light's not pushing through. It's too far away. You can't see that on a normal day. It's only, what is it, one day a year or a couple times a year?
Twice a year for a day or two.
Twice a year for a day or two. It lines up with the mountains and it backlights the mountains. It's 175 miles away, straight across from your eyesight. The reason you can't see it when the sun's not shining on it is because it's too far away. Your eyes can't see that far without that light helping.
The planet is 8,000 miles, wide. So what is 175 miles? Yeah.
Okay, but remember though, you're living on a basketball in your world, or pair, depending on the glober you are.
But my world, I just live in it, man.
No, I'm saying the fabricated heliocentric world that you believe without any evidence. There's you're not gonna be able to see things past a certain point. A 6-foot man standing at the beach should not be able to see anything. What is it, past 3 miles?
3 miles. There's a 6-foot drop at 3 miles. So they shouldn't be able to see the surface of the water. This camera is not a 6-foot man. It's a 1-foot man. 1 foot off the water. At this distance, 9.3 miles, there should be 59 feet of curvature. Not only is there not 59 feet of curvature, we can see the surface of the water with miles, dozens of miles beyond it. The surface of the water should not be able to be seen at 1.2 miles away at that height. There should be enough drop. What's that?
What do you mean the surface of the water shouldn't be seen?
So
it should be curving.
Here's a spot on the water. And if you're all the way over there, you can't see that spot because you have a physical horizon. You can't see where my finger is touching the ball because it's behind curvature. So once that spot is far enough away where it's behind curvature, you can't see my fingernail anymore because it's behind the curvature.
Yeah, and you can't zoom in and get his fingernail back once it's past the physical horizon. You can't.
Right.
But we are. We're zooming in on things that should never be visible.
He's showing you this. That's what that is. You shouldn't be able to see it. We can see it. That proves your model wrong, or the model you live in, not your model.
Yeah. Right. And
how do you explain that when you approach tall objects from afar, it rises up? It's coming up over something.
Yeah, it's all perspective. It's amazing. I got to make a video on it. I was on the Long Island Sound, and I was over in Long Island. And I looked over to Connecticut and to New York, and there's a building which I'm very familiar with. It's one tall building. I think it's like 20 stories tall. It's got a very weird shape. And I could see the entire building. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's 23 miles away. Okay. The curvature math says, I think 45 stories should be hidden. Okay. I could see the whole story. But here's the thing. As I drove across the Long Island Sound, getting closer to Connecticut, it didn't get bigger. It got smaller. Okay, and that's because of the way perspective works.
It's about the waves right there, Dave.
No, it wasn't the waves.
I'm saying tell him so he understands what we're talking about.
So these little waves in the foreground will hide that boat. So that boat is gone. You can't see it. It's smaller than your angular resolution limits of your eyes, right? So the sky comes down into the horizon, but when you zoom in, like we're zooming in now, we're making this bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden, you can see, there is a boat there. And there it is.
But Globers will say, no, the boat's not there anymore because it went down a physical horizon. We're saying it's an optical horizon because it's a flat plane. All water's level. Did you know that, though, Joe? All water finds and maintains its own level. So that's true science. I want to see someone scientifically prove that large bodies of water can bend. It's always
at rest. Large bodies of water at rest. Sean, if my finger was a wave, and my head was a mountain or whatever, a building, can my finger block my entire head? No. But what if my finger, which is a wave, was much closer to you?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Well, look at it. Is Dave behind curvature now?
Or am I behind curvature? Is there something blocking your view? Yeah. Is something blocking your view? And the way I look at it, if I have a tree line 50 yards away from me and there are 150-foot trees, I'm not going to be able to see a building 10 miles beyond it because if you draw a line from my eye to the top of that tree line, that's my horizon, the top of that tree line. But as I go away, as I go away, that line goes down farther and farther and farther. because the angle changes. So when I'm just a mile away from those trees, the tops of those trees look like they're at my eye level. And I could see way beyond it. And the farther I go, the lower that angle gets and the farther I can see. We can see too far. There is no physical horizon.
There's no physical curvature.
Globe.
Yeah,
there is no globe.
That's why they've had to fake curvature, Joel. Do you understand? That's why they go up there with Red Bull and Virgin Galactic. They strap these fisheye lens on to give the illusion that we live on a curved surface, a ball, right? They want to continue to reinforce this agenda that, in my opinion, started in the early 1900s. That's my opinion. But this is the agenda. That's why they changed all the school books in the 20s and 30s. Rockefeller came in with his goons and changed all these school books. They forced teachers in school to teach the globe. They were fighting this, man. And this is what, the 20s and 30s. They're fighting it. They don't want to teach their students this pseudoscience, but it was forced by the Rockefellers and all the goons that took over the Board of Education, actually started the Board of Education.
Do you have any evidence of that, though?
Yeah. Go research Rockefeller. It's public information. He started the Board of Education.
A little bit, actually. And I saw that some religious schools were trying to teach flat Earth at one point.
No, you got it.
Maybe
you got
they
it
were.
Twisted. No, I'm saying, but he has it twisted in the format that he's accepting. Every school was either teaching nothing because it was common knowledge, or that the Earth was flat with a local sun, moon, and stars, until they started coming in to change this. If you look at old newspaper articles from the early 1900s, you'll see a lot of teachers were fighting this. They did not want this in their school. Actually, there was teachers being persecuted for even teaching this, because back then the people still had a voice.
Teaching the globe.
Correct, teaching the globe.
That's kind of a poor argument, because right now they're fighting about creationism over evolution, and we don't know if either one's true. Just because they're teaching it in school doesn't make it true.
Correct. And they were not teaching the globe for a very long time, because there's no way to teach something that doesn't exist, which is why when they started pushing this ball model, it was nothing but Christopher Columbus said it. The boat went down the ball, and sticks and shadows tests. That's all they were teaching about the ball. They had no concrete evidence of anything. They never even went up there yet, Joel. Now, they went up there and supposedly in 1969 and landed on the moon. But yet Walt Disney had 15 years of pre-programming the whole world that we're going to space soon, yet we've never been there. Yeah. So it's pre-programming. If you see the timeline that we see, at least you'll be on the same page of, oh, that's really strange. The timeline of everything's really, really weird, man.
You're contradicting yourself, though. You're saying we haven't been up there, but we go up there. So which is it?
No,
you're missing my point.
No, yeah, exactly. He's saying that they said that they, okay, so for instance, Universal Studios, they showed us the globe Earth in their logo since 1925, right? The exact way that it looked in their logo is the exact way that it looked after they went up there. Before they went up there, they showed us this. Somehow it looks the exact same after they go up and verify it. Wow, that's pretty interesting.
They've been theorizing a globe Earth since 2500 BC, though.
That's
not true.
That's what they claim. But they've actually, this is all pretty brand new. It's probably like the 1800s when the globe Earth was pretty much forced on everybody.
Why do we have evidence of Socrates?
It's a story.
We don't. There's no proof that any of these guys existed. Galileo, with his homemade telescope and hand-polished glass, could see things that our best telescopes can't see today.
Right.
It's absolute nonsense.
And Joe, if you want to bring these people from the past up, then who do you think is the Michael Jordan of what is it called, Dave?
Heliocentrism?
Yeah, heliocentrism. Who would be the Michael Jordan? Who's the founder of it? Who's the guy that knew this first? Do you know? You have to. If he's the Michael Jordan of your world, you have to know who he was. Do you remember who he was?
No, I'm not sure who it is.
Well, they teach us in school that Aristophanes in Greece figured out the Earth was a globe 2,000 years ago with his sticks and shadows. And then Carl Sagan, I'm sure you watched the original Cosmos, showed us this, only on a curved Earth, right? He's showing us a flat Earth here and the sun, there's no shadow, but only on a curved Earth, he tells us. And everyone falls for it. Yeah. Look. Shadow, we got a shadow here, and then he'll bend it, and so this one doesn't have a shadow. Right? Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I've seen this.
Okay. All right. So do you think that's proof that we live on a curved Earth?
I think it raises some questions.
All right, well let's look at this. Have you ever seen parallel sun rays come in? No, you haven't. Yeah. You only see crepuscular.
Wait, did you say yeah?
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Parallel?
No one's
straight lines coming straight down?
No one's ever seen straight lines coming in. You always see crepuscular. Okay? Always. No one has ever. My point is, Aristophanes, he said, oh, well, the sun's so far away that the rays come in almost barely, parallel, essentially parallel. Well, back then, they also believed that the sun was orbiting the earth. Okay, so how does he believe an infinitely far sun is orbiting a tiny little blue marble? Okay, so that
what you're seeing is refraction now.
It doesn't matter. What made him say that the rays are coming in parallel? You're told that this is refraction, but in reality, go out there and look. But here's how it works. So I maybe lose my spot. Here we go. So on a flat Earth, on a globe Earth, Aristophanes here, he's got no shadow. His buddy 500 miles away somehow could communicate with him. Maybe they had cell phones.
Over.
And he measured the length of the shadow, did some really good math, and figured out the size of the Earth within like 1%. And that was amazing. And they taught it in all the schools. Cool story. On a flat Earth with a small local sun, just like we experience.
Same thing.
Here's Aristophanes. Here's his buddy. Here's the same shadow. Do the same math, and you can prove that this flat surface is spherical.
Apparently.
Apparently, right.
I mean, what Dave's pretty much saying is it works both ways, which is why they always try to utilize things that obviously it has to work on a flat Earth and a stationary Earth because that's what we live in. But they have to take what they already know is true and spin it in a way that can work in both. Because there's nothing that just works on a globe. Like, oh, we can't explain that. Oh, we have no idea. Oh, we're screwed now. That's never happened. But it happens a lot in the globe where it's only explained on a flat plane, and the globe's like, it makes absolutely no sense on the globe. That's why they fabricate a lot of these stories with the seasons and the tilt of the Earth and the axis and all. It's all this stuff. It short circuits your brain, Joel. Yeah, right.
Example of something that only works on a flat surface.
Circumnavigating, only works on a flat surface. We can see too far. I just showed you Mount Canada only works on a flat surface.
Oh, you're saying there's tons of evidence that it only works for a flat Earth and not a globe. When actually there's tons of evidence that only work for a globe.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear one.
I mean, you want to go back to the satellites? I mean, that it only works on a globe.
Okay, first.
Wait. Let me say one thing. You think a satellite would prove the shape of the Earth? So you couldn't fly a satellite over a flat plane. Is that what you're saying? Because in your world, the satellites are magically orbiting, right? They're just up there, right? They're just floating around. They're orbiting.
I don't think it's magic.
Okay, I'm saying though, the spin, the orbit, the Hollywood feel of it just kind of just floating around on its own, right? That's what you think satellites are. Right. We know what satellites are. We know how they operate. And we know how they put them up there.
And we're gonna show you.
No, yeah,
we're gonna show you. We're gonna show you. So first, back to my original statement. You believe we live on a rock, surrounded by water, surrounded by gas, adjacent to a vacuum, which is scientifically impossible. We're corkscrewing through space, traveling 4.5 billion miles a year, going in 4 different directions at once, and somehow we could throw up a geostationary satellite that'll find its spot, park itself, match the spin of the Earth, match the orbit of the Earth while it's spinning, and match the trajectory of the Earth. And it magically stays there and never fucks up. And they just throw it out there and it parks itself there. That's what you believe. But in reality, NASA has a balloon program. NASA owns all the helium companies in the world. NASA uses more helium than anyone else in the world. And NASA admits, not a theory, that they have tens of thousands of satellites hanging on balloons.
Helium.
Right now.
Right now.
And it's actually since the 50s, if you want to be real. That's when they started this.
And now they're backtracking again because we've been exposing it so much. NASA's going, you know what? it might be cheaper to use balloons than put satellites in space. They're backtracking, and then in 10 years they'll be like, oh, satellites in space, that's old news,
It's always been helium balloons.
Because it's always been helium
yeah.
right?
You ever see images of satellites from space, like satellites floating up in space? You ever seen those? You ever Google search that? I'm not talking about conspiracies. I'm talking about images of satellites from space. It's all cartoons, Joel. There's no way you're going to be able to think otherwise.
A satellite with a balloon on it.
Well, I just showed you a video.
An image of a satellite. All satellites are cartoons. If you look
I'm showing you actual video. There's tons, and these things also crash all over the world. But guess what? Everybody has a high-def camera in their pocket, and they're filming them crashing. They're filming the balloons. They're happening all over the place, and then they quickly get picked up. Men in Black style. Yeah, Men in Black style. Right.
Good point.
So. Yeah, so
this is real evidence of a satellite, of sataloons, we call them, because that's all they've been since day one. And NASA will admit that when they came out to send stuff up, it was always on weather balloons. Didn't happen to what Arthur C. Clarke created a book, sci-fi book about satellites. Matt, you know more about that, but then wasn't it right after that, Matt, that all of a sudden they said that it's we're going to hit the market with it?
Yeah, I believe it was somewhere between 10 to 20 years after the book was written that satellites came true. So they were theorized in his book, sci-fi, and then NASA made them a reality.
Yeah, for a tax scheme, probably, I'm assuming, right? Yeah.
Joel, you believe that all of these satellites, some of these satellites are circling the Earth. Some of them are staying right above the piece of land, like the piece of one that's right here over this piece of land. And while the Earth is spinning, orbiting and rocketing, and everything just magically mirrors it somehow. All right, that is a leap of faith, and it's also in fake space. Space can't exist. A rock surrounded by water, surrounded by air, adjacent to a void.
I can turn that around and say, you believe all of those are on a balloon?
No, I don't believe there's this many up there. I believe there's tens of thousands. NASA admits it. I don't have any proof that there's tens of thousands of them up there, but there are a lot. There's a few.
We've seen some. Someone film one. They were just filming the moon one day, zooming in on the moon.
And one right by the moon.
The moon's real close to us, Joel. It's right there. That's why you can see a lot of the details with your eyes. It's right there in the sky. But they were zooming in on the moon with their camera, and here comes a satellite on a balloon like this going across. You see it. Simpsons have poked fun at it. I don't know if you're one of those guys that know that Simpsons does a lot of this type of, okay. So they said, the Fox satellite in the sky, and they show the Fox satellite. It's on balloons. It's all like breaking. So again, there's, and not just the Simpsons, but I'm sure there's others, but this is something that they don't lie about. Like they don't shy away from telling you that they sent these up on balloons. They will tell you that. They will tell you they've been doing this for a very long time. You have two choices. You could believe the truth that they're all on balloons. There's evidence of it.
But how do we communicate with other countries? How are we communicating?
Oh.
Underground cable. 99% of telecommunications, Joel, is underground cables.
Undersea cables too. And guess what?
Undersea, yeah.
How come there's no cable from Santiago to Australia? It's a short line. The one from Santiago to Australia goes all the way up here, all the way over, and then all the way back down.
Because it's not the real map.
Cables are transferring data, not the signal, though.
I'm talking about things that you believe are being transmitted from little tin cans floating around, mirroring all those.
That's the signal.
What's the difference between a signal and data? I'm confused.
Data is information. The signal's
the signal's not information or data.
Are we using satellites right now to have this Zoom call?
Yes,
I assume so. Yeah.
You would assume so. Well, guess what? Your assumption shows you that you've done no research, because Zoom, the cable company, the electric company, the telephone companies, they'll all tell you that this is all land-based.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that they don't use satellites.
So maybe
why is it when I fly to Puerto Rico, the airplane loses their Sirius satellite and direct TV? Right? Because there's no more land connections. There's no satellites. How come there's no GPS in the Southern Oceans? How come there's no GPS over the Amazon? Okay. How come you lose signal like in the middle of Arizona? You go out into the hills.
It's GPS satellites, though. I mean,
so GPS satellites. Do you know what the LORAN system is? Probably before your time. It's a land-based network of towers, crisscrossing lines and using geometry to figure out where you are. And well, I had that growing up, on our boats as kids, growing up, And then all of a sudden, computer technology came in and graphics came in, and they did a graphic overlay on top of the Loran system. That's all it is. Graphics on top of Loran. If you go on Google Earth and you go way out to where it's a cartoon ball, zoom in, cartoon, 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 cartoon. And then when it gets really low, boom, all of a sudden it transitions into a real image from the Google drone, from airplanes. They have drones flying back and forth, taking pictures of the Earth. Google, look up the Google drone.
Yeah, and
Just
also,
like the
by the way,
Google cars.
speaking of Sataloons, Google Loon is the new phase, right? So Google Loon sends tons of these up. It's a project that's been going around for a while. They have thousands of these up in there, if not tens of thousands by now. So not only NASA doing it, but yeah, Google Loon's up there. I mean, the evidence is there, Joel. They're all on balloons. There's zero evidence that they're magically floating and doing. I want you to find your best video of a satellite orbiting the ball. Like you actually see an entire satellite orbiting the ball. You will admit
that have brought up some good points. You give me some stuff to think about. Yeah. How about you give me some time to look into this, and we'll
absolutely
for sure.
Hey, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, Joel, what kind of phone do you have?
It's an iPhone 11.
Okay. And your email address. Send me your email address. I have your email address, don't I? Yeah. You emailed me. Yeah. I'm gonna email you my app, because if you try to Google and find stuff, you're not gonna find anything.
That's another thing.
It's really difficult.
Did you know that though,
really
Joel? Like if you Google search flat Earth right now, Joel, did you know that it's only CNN, BBC, it's all handpicked garbage that none of us in this chat would ever show you. And you got 20, 30, 40 pages worth of it. Why do they do that? Why don't they show us? Why don't they show people trying to, is that not unfair to you, Joel?
That's part of what I'm asking them. Yeah. That's why I wanted to know, is that I couldn't find any information on it.
That's they've done a good job. And in 2014, 2015, you could find it. That's how I became a flat earther. I went in going, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm going to prove the globe, disprove flat earth. And I would watch a video, and then another one would come, and another one would come, and Google would just kept coming. And I'm like, wow. And one of the first videos, Matt has a video called A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions. If you Google that in YouTube, it's not going to show up. It's one of the biggest videos out there.
How unique is that name too, right? You know, it's like A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions. You Google that, you won't find it.
Let me just tell you, the app will show you how the flat earth works, how the seasons work. It shows you stuff. Every day there's a featured video. I recommend watch the featured video every day. Check out the frequently asked questions, because you're going to be like, you know what? Those guys made some good points about satellites. So if you go to what about satellites right up here in the top right, click that. Up will come a playlist that Google won't let you see. These are great videos. But one place I want you to go on here is under the web button, and you scroll down a little bit, full-length movies, okay? Matt and Sean are both very talented movie makers. And Matt has the Stranger's Guide as the first one, and then The Next Level is the next one. Watch those. Watch those one evening. Kick back, have a beer, a glass of tea, whatever, a cup of tea, whatever you want, and watch those with a notepad. Write down some questions, and let's have this conversation again.
Yeah, let's have a part 2 again. Well, if you could watch Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth and The Next Level, if you watch those two, we'll have a part 2, and I guarantee you see where we're coming from at minimum.
I'm gonna gift the app to you with your email address. So all you have to do is click it. It'll go to the App Store, and then you download it for free. It's only $3, okay? And then when it asks you to subscribe, don't subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. The subscription is only for if you want to message other flat earthers. And these are the flat earthers that are just near me. Okay. There's flat earthers everywhere. I mean,
where are you at? Where are you at, Joe? What state are you in?
Where are you? What state? Ohio. Here's Ohio. These are flat earthers. I can't even find Ohio because it's buried in flat earth. Okay. These are just the people that have my app. If flat earth was nonsense, some mainstream science, Neil deGrasse, Bill Nye, one of those guys would have come out and say, here's why flat earth here's the proof of the globe, right? I have a 3 Bitcoin offer out there for 1 globe proof. I've had it for years. No one's gotten the Bitcoins, okay? No one's even really tried, other than, well, that star, which is scientifically improvable in fake space, is we can see that star. It's like nonsense. There's nothing. There's zero proof, right? So what got me to have this conversation with you is when you said, I've talked to flat earthers, and there's no proof, there's no evidence. And I'm like, okay, we need to talk to this guy.
Well, then maybe he just did a simple Google or YouTube search. And then in that instance, I agree with you, Joel. Yeah, you ain't going to find shit, man.
You're going to find nothing.
In 2015, when I really truly woke up fully to this, when I typed in flat earth, I got ODDTV. I got Eric Dubé. Yeah. I got Santos Bonacci. I got people that came up right away, Joel. All these videos, pages, and I'm like, oh my God.
Excellent video.
This is a globe deception. This is unbelievable. Shit was going viral, man. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, big bad corporation, Google, YouTube get together and go, what are we going to do? This is getting out of control. So they hid all of our videos, shadow banned them, and they promoted their own garbage.
What's the incentive for that, though?
So you continue living on your ball.
So
why the lie? Why the lie?
Does it benefit anyone to believe?
Yeah.
Benefit? Well, what if I told you there was 32 continents? I'm just making it up. But would that be an intriguing way to hide to take 7 continents and wrap it into a ball? If there's more land, would that? I'm just asking you, Joe, off the record. What if there's more land? Would that be a legitimate reason for you to fake this? If they wanted to hide 30 more continents? Yes. Also, they make $50 to $60 million a day from taxpayers. A day. Is that another reason to lie?
Yeah. No, it's not that they make it. They take it from us.
Yeah, they steal it. Yeah.
Because the elite don't need money. But think about this. If we live here, this ring is Antarctica, and these are other continents, extra territory, extra terra. If somebody came to visit us, we might consider them an extraterrestrial.
From where?
From the outer space.
Yeah.
Here on Earth. Now, I'm not claiming this is possible. This is the way it is. I'm claiming this is physically possible. This is scientifically provable versus fake space.
Well, no, it's not scientifically provable yet because, Joel, they won't let us go over there and see what's over there. They will not let us go. We would go. The flat Earth would be over with, but we can go over there. We can't go over there.
And that we've done many experiments, laser experiments before across frozen lakes and stuff.
Have you guys attempted to visit Antarctica yourselves?
Well, there's no reason because they only bring you to a little island out here, like Rothschild Island.
It's about 15 to 20 grand a person, Joe.
And you don't get there's no independent exploration, right? And it's complete and total nonsense. But there's so many things that we've done to prove that the Earth is a globe. If you go into the web button, scroll down to the bottom. Where is it? The bottom. This one right here. These are a whole bunch of experiments that we've done for you. We've taken the time. You watch these, and then you can see it's all documented. It's all laid out. It's not bullshit. And you'll see tons and tons and tons of content in here. Okay, and that's just if you take your time and go through this, then you'll start to see that all of these beliefs you have in space are ridiculous. Before we go, I don't want to let you go yet. Are you a fan of the James Webb Telescope?
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So this image right. Whoops. What do we got there? This is an image from the James Webb Telescope. Okay. And what about this? Wait, hold on. Where is it?
Did you see these images? Have you already seen these images, Joel, of the new thing they released? So you've seen all these. Okay. Show them a couple more.
What if I said these are CGI?
I'd say, how are we supposed to know that?
Okay. Good answer. Okay. Well, what if I said they're real? Would you say, how are we supposed to know that?
Yeah. I mean, how are we supposed to know?
Good answer.
Hey, that's a great answer. Well, here is how one way we can know. This is my friend Jenny, and with a simple app on her telephone, spinning it around, she created those images. Okay,
from her phone,
free from her phone on her phone. Okay,
$0 budget,
$0. So here we have the Hubble, James Webb, and Jenny. I think Jenny did a better job. I think she deserves $30 million a day. Okay. Right? Hubble, James Webb, Jenny. Okay?
That's interesting.
Thank you. I'll take an interesting. That's all. You know what? I was really nervous about this, just literally taking a dive down the crap hole. But thank you for listening. Anything else you want to bring up? Matt, you have anything final words? Oh, why? Give them a why the lie. Why else would they lie besides more land? Anything, Matt?
Well, I mean, yeah, we got to take into account, just not religion, but the fact that there could be a creator. Okay, this place could be created. We look at how fucking crazy our fingers, our hands are just by thinking a thought. You can do this. Like this is some really wild stuff going on with the human body. How amazing it is! How it's really cool and awesome, And we're really fantastic beings, and the elite, they try to make it seem like we just came from pond scum and we turned into this after going through the phases of being monkeys. And then we're just an accident, overall, we're just an accident. And why should we care about anything? One day the sun's going to die out and we might get hit by a meteoroid. And there's all this crazy stuff. And the news every day, it's all bad news. They try to keep us in fear and they want you to think that you're an accident. That's really my take on it is.
So yeah, keep us in fear, false evidence appearing real, and then the news, north, east, west, south, steering your mind to keep you in fear. And they want you to think that an asteroid can come and take us out like it did the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs didn't exist. Asteroids don't exist. We're running out of food. You stick a seed into the ground, water falls from the sky, food grows out. Okay? They tell we're overpopulated. Every family in America could have a half an acre in Texas, right? And I think some of Texas would still be empty.
Yeah.
They're lying about everything. It's about control. And if they limit your mind to the matrix, the ball, okay, then you're limiting your thoughts, and your thoughts create your reality. Your life is the way that you think. If you think your life is shit, it's shit. If you think your life is good and have good thoughts and do good things and take good actions, then things work out, things happen. Everything you have in your life is because of the way you think. And you know how they say you're your own worst enemy? You're your only enemy, okay? You have no enemies. You're your only enemy, and the way you think puts you in that vibration, for lack of a better word, and things, happen. They don't want you to know the power of this world. They tell you in school you only use 10% of your brain. Well, you better not use more than that, or you're going to figure out you don't live on a spinning ball, okay? They don't want you connecting with nature. They don't want you connecting with source. They don't want you connecting with all of the true power that we really have. Well, they don't want you knowing your history. Go ahead.
That never made sense. The 10% of your brain thing, that's been disproven.
And like 99% of your DNA is junk DNA. Okay, that's all. It's all nonsense. They don't want you to have your right power. God, man, government. Government has climbed on top of man. They're stepping on our heads, trying to get on top of God. Okay, or the creator. Not religious. I was a full-on atheist. Now I know there's a creator because I've discovered we don't live on a spinning speck ball in a scientifically impossible void. We don't.
If there's a creator, why does that say there's a God then?
Well, a creator. Well, I don't like using the word God. Here's the thing: what I always say: when you understand that the world is
used
not
to be
from a
atheist.
Big Bang,
there's an intelligence. There's an intelligence behind this. That's all we're saying.
This was designed. This was created, and we are very special people.
And the point I like to make is, once you realize that this is designed, then it's your own personal journey from there. Whatever way you go, that's your own journey. Nobody can tell you what you need to believe, what you need to do, or you're going to hell. Nothing like that. It's your own journey. And that's why we're here. We're here to experience love and this amazing place and expand the mind of the creator is the way I look at it. And they're taking that away from us. They want us living in fear. And they, the Rockefellers, the bankers make the textbooks, and they teach you to be good bankers or banking customers. They don't teach you to be bankers. They teach you to be banking customers. Okay. They teach you mathematics, but not real mathematics, not vortex mathematics or sacred geometry. They teach you to be accounting or, engineering. They teach you to do these things that keep you in as slaves. Yeah. Okay. And a lot of people are doing well and having a good time. I mean, listen, I love my life. I'm having a good time. Everyone, you can have an amazing time. But what if, here's the big what if. What if you had something the size of a roll of quarters that would heat your house for the rest of your life, and another thing the size of a roll of quarters that would power your house and your car for the rest of your life? So no more expenses for that. You could have a lot of options at that point. What if they didn't hide technology? Right now, they're taking 30, 40% of your money, and then they give you a couple percent back at the end of the year, and you're like, yes, they gave me 3% back. And what if you didn't? And all of that is monopoly money anyway. It's the way they control us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't
nothing.
have
it's
all of that,
worth nothing.
Yeah, if you didn't have all of that, and you could operate free like we're supposed to be. Governments don't give us our rights. We have them by the creator, God-given rights. I'll use the G word. Okay. And they're trying to say, no, we're responsible. The only control anyone has over you is in your imagination. And if you live on a spinning ball flying through an infinite space galaxy, then you're under mind control.
Yep. And you could continue to be mind controlled by anything else that they put your way. Because a lot of people go, hey, the government lies. They lie about this. They lie about that. But then they go, oh, well, they wouldn't lie about this. It's very hypocritical. They should never lie to us about anything. And they lie all the time. And I know you know that, Joel. They've lied to us for all of our history. Christopher Columbus discovered America. It's still in school books, even though we all know there's already Indians here, right? So it's they can say and print whatever they want. They could tell you that, these people existed in ancient history. They're stories. You choose to believe it or you choose to expose it. We don't like believing things anymore. We like to know or we like to don't know. If we don't know something, it's okay. We say we don't know. We'll say, I don't know.
We know we don't know a lot of things. Globers have no idea what their model is. They have a false idea what flat Earth is, and they think they know everything.
Yep. Very true. But Joel, I don't know how much time you have. I have to go soon, but we definitely will have to do a part 2. If you can go check out ODD's video, Stranger Guides to Flat Earth, 21 questions, and then the next level. If you could watch those 2 and hit us back up, we would love to do a part 2 with you, man, to really see where you stand now after you kind of realize where we're coming from.
I'll send you a link to a video playlist, and I'll send you the app for free if you want it. And then that way you always have your phone. If you're sitting somewhere, waiting somewhere, driving in a car, hit a frequently asked question list and just start watching and listening, and don't believe anything. Know it.
Well, it's a great resource. If you've been looking for videos and answers, you weren't going to find them the way you were looking. But now with this app, that section with the videos, that has all the videos you're going to want to watch.
All right, cool. I look forward to it.
All right, Joel, thanks for the conversation, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out.
Thanks for keeping an open mind.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joel.
All right, man. See ya.
You guys take care.
You too. All right. So there's our show with Joel. Hopefully he goes and looks at the stuff with a truly open mind. He sounded like he might, but at moments I thought he kind of sounded like he might not, but we'll see, man. Hopefully we get him back on a part 2, and he's changed his mind on a lot of stuff.
That was a tough one. He was sending me all of this stuff going, the earth is flat. I haven't seen any proof. And he just kept sending me documents after documents. And I'm like, I'm not going to read those, Joel. And he's like, well, I just want you to, he goes, I just want to know the answer. Why do you believe the earth is flat? And I was like, do you want to come on the Oddcast? And I was like, I told him, he goes, I just want to have a respectful conversation. I go, we're going to be the 3 nicest guys you've ever met. And we're going to answer as many questions as we can.
I almost lost it once. I almost lost it once. That's my bad, but I retract
right near the beginning, right?
What is my face glitching? Does anyone see this?
No.
It's like glitching. Okay. Look at that. Yeah, good show, though. That was a great show.
That guy's paradigm has just been shaken. This is his red pill moment. Hopefully he takes it.
It's weird, man, because this is really the first time he got flat smacked, because if he's just Google searching and YouTube searching, he found nothing. So he's
he said he's talked to flat earthers. Like, who's he talking to? Maybe
no offense, Joel. I don't believe that.
Maybe he was like messaging like people on Facebook or whatever and hitting up some trolls. Who knows? But boy, that really shows the algorithm and the gatekeeping, how good of a job it's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because at least he tried to look.
He tried to look.
Yeah.
And he was looking for evidence and looking to have conversations. That that was I was pleased with that conversation.
I think he'll wake up, man, because he's already proven to me that he tried to research this, and of course, with the results he got with YouTube, of course he's not going to be on board at all. So now that he's going to get the app and he's going to see ODD's doc and my doc, I mean, I think he's going to be begging for a part 2 because his mind's going to be blown. I think he might be in denial for a week. Maybe he won't talk to you for a week, Dave, but I think eventually he's going to be like, okay, I have to address this. And he was very open-minded towards the end.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I can tell he came in very confident because of what he has found, which is nothing. But after getting smacked left and right by Dave early on, he was like, wait a minute, I haven't heard any of this. And he didn't have any answers for it, you know?
No. Yeah, and the good thing is
that I talk a lot.
Yeah, well, the good thing is that he said, I have to look at that, and I'm gonna have to go take a look at that. That's all we want. That's all I would ever ask for from
I was
anybody.
Thrilled to hear that.
Anybody. That's what you should say. Every single human being should be like, you know what? That's interesting. I have to go look at that. Exactly.
Yeah. You got to drop your ego a little bit to say that. So I appreciated him saying that as well.
You got to drop your laziness too. Most people the laziest thing to do is go, nah, I just believe what school said. I just believe the official story, and they move on. That's what's sad, the laziness. But this is why we put in so much work for years now to make sure that, hey, even at the lazy people, we got you covered. We got you.
His number one proof the Earth is the globe is satellites.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at him, but God, that blew my mind. That is the worst answer I've ever heard because of how ridiculous satellites are. But you know what? That means he's on his fucking way, man. If that's his go-to thing, oh my gosh, I can't wait till he watches some of this stuff. But great show.
I'll send him that email right now. So cool. That was fun.
Cool. All right, yeah, get him on.
All right, guys.
Get him on. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Until next week, we'll holla. See ya.
See ya.
Where is the curvature? Where? No curvature.